Welcome into the ReMix, a mix of entertainment, lifestyle, and community stories. I'm Anna Meiler. It's a tiny toy come to life in Littleton. Polly Pocket, an iconic plaything in every girl's hands in the 90s, now has her own Air BNB. As Brianna Pitt shows us, it's an eye-catching spot that's sure to bring plenty of fun and, of course, nostalgia.
Well, if you are a child of the 90s or you're a parent who had a child in the 90s, you remember these. Polly Pocket. Well, she's turning 35 years old this year, and to celebrate, she has an Airbnb house that you can actually rent overnight, and we are going inside. So let's go.
For 35 years, Polly's been pocket-sized, and now for the first time ever, people are able to experience the larger-in-life version of Polly's.
A Polly Pocket Compact has popped up in Littleton. Airbnb celebrating the iconic toy's 35th birthday by building an exact replica of this 1994 Slumber Party Fun Compact.
So here's Polly's fridge, and it actually opens. Look at this.
Everything inside this Airbnb is exaggerated, and Allie Killiam says that's on purpose.
What we really are trying to do with icons is create these worlds and stays and experiences that truly immerse someone in the world that they're experiencing in a way that they haven't been able to before. Yeah, take a seat.
Guests can cozy up on the pull-out couch and watch TV in Polly's living room.
Walk down the runway.
Or raid her closet. And yes, they're even made out of that nostalgic, glossy, gummy material.
How did you decide on Littleton, Mass, of all places?
Great question. So Polly Pocket is actually from a town called Littleton, a fictional town called Littleton. Polly Pocket is known as the adventure doll, so we wanted to pick a place that had a lot of adventure for guests to explore, and this Littleton, Massachusetts town, you'll just experience it for yourself when you're here, but there's so much adventure to be had. It's so charming and quaint and cute.
Added bonuses, a snack tent filled with treats from a local bakery, and custom charm bracelet making with your besties. Guests can sleep on the pullout or end the night here in the cutest camping tent.
We just felt like this is such an iconic brand that people have memories of they might want to share with their children now. And so, whether you're really young, a Gen Z, or a millennial, there's different parts of Polly that have really resonated over the years. And so that's why we thought it'd be, a really fun experience for a lot of different people.
Your chance to book the Polly Pocket Compact opens up on August 21st. There's only 3 one-night stays for up to 4 guests. Each guest, $89 per person, a nod to the year that Polly hit store shelves. We have all of the information to book on our website, WBZ.com. Reporting in Littleton, Brianna Pitts, WBZ News.
Well, they were also heroes of the 90s. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are returning with a new series on Paramount Plus. The show, called Tales of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, just launched and will continue for 12 episodes. It's a follow-up to last year's TMNT movie, Mutant Mayhem. And 2 of the young actors who voiced Donatello and Raphael say this series will offer a lot of the same thrills while offering a unique take on the Turtles.
Packed and comedy-filled series just to explore a different side of the Turtles that we haven't seen before.
It was really important that we highlighted the part that we all have our own tale to tell. So we're all split up in the series, and this is the first time that we don't see the Turtles together all the time on the screen. So yeah, we were recording separately from our own home studios, and we were not together for this. So we really got into that character of the place where they're lonely and just really thrive in that authenticity of us being alone in the booth.
This is a new generation of Turtles, and there's a new generation of kids to love and enjoy the Turtles. So I think just keeping the originality and the similar aspects of the original Turtles and all the past iterations, but keeping that teenage authenticity of this era and this generation. So just kind of doing our own thing, but keeping the original feeling still in us.
The main villain from Teenage Mutant Turtles lore is Shredder. He was teased at the end of the movie last summer. When we asked Micah and Brady about an appearance in this series, they said, well, you'll just have to watch and see. While it's been a blistering hot summer, plenty of people have found respite at the movie theater. Paula Eben has more on the hits we've seen and what's in store this fall.
Well, it has been a big summer at the movie theater with some record-breaking hits, and here to discuss what's been happening and what will be on the marquee next is Alex Shebar, who's the community manager for the Alamo Drafthouse in Boston. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me as always.
It's so fun to talk about the movies, and we want to talk about the success of Deadpool and Wolverine because I think this has kind of taken people by surprise.
What movie is that? I haven't heard of it.
If you've understood, it's Ryan Reynolds and a man named Hugh Jackman.
I hear good things about it.
They work well together. But you know, everybody had been talking about, what's happening to Marvel. Marvel movies are kind of falling off the map.
Yeah.
And this thing is a juggernaut. And what do you make of it?
You know, Marvel has been going through these ups and downs for a while there. It was the start of the summer blockbuster season, and then it kind of winded down, and they couldn't recapture the magic that they had. That's why this is the only Marvel movie this entire year. You know, they picked one, and they were going big. And they were absolutely right. You know, it's made $1.5 billion across the world.
Crazy.
It is only making more money. It is not going to slow down. This was the tentpole movie, and people were absolutely right. And you know what? It's fun. It's so much fun. It's what you're looking for a summer movie. Great comedy, great action. The two of them together are absolutely amazing. It's just what you want from a film in the summer.
Yeah. It's interesting to talk about the streaming takeover because there appears to be this new formula here, right? Where Deadpool and Wolverine, Inside Out 2, people went to the theater and they took their kids, and it's really fun to get the popcorn. So audiences still want the experience of going to the movie theater, but then you do have the convenience later of being able to watch it at home. How do you think Hollywood's going to balance that out?
Our founder, Tim, talks a lot about this experience, and he goes, you know, look, you have a kitchen at home. Why go to a restaurant?
Yeah,
the fact is you want an experience. You want to see a movie in a big way, you know, big screen, big sound, with people who feel the same way that you do. At Alamo Drafthouse, we do food and drink right to your seat, so you can order a burger, beer, milkshake. It becomes a whole night out. So yeah, of course, if you want the convenience of staying home and watching it on your TV, do that. But there are movies that should be seen in the theater. Deadpool and Wolverine is one of them. Don't miss that. Like, see that the way it should be.
And it's interesting, we talked to Matt Damon and Casey Affleck last week about The Instigators. That was in theaters for about a week. And then it's going to live on Apple TV, so people can watch it.
It did really well, too, especially here in Boston. People wanted to see that in the theaters. It's super fun to see a movie like that, action and great stars.
Big kind of buddy comedy.
Yeah. It's worth seeing on a movie theater if you want to see it that way.
And here's my question. Do you think the streaming is going to be the new place where B movies live? You know, not to relegate anybody to a B movie, but that was the experience in the 40s, right? You would go in the morning and see the B movie first, which was just kind of a smaller film, and then the big stars.
It already is.
You're
already seeing, you know, all these streaming services pick up movies that just don't quite make sense for a theater or not going to have the run that they would have. You know, there were no other options 10, 15, 20 years ago. Now there are. So yeah, of course, there are movies that are made for kind of Netflix or things like that, and then there are movies that are made for the movie theater and that you want to go see.
I think it's kind of good. Straight to DVD got a bad name, but straight to streaming or soon to streaming is kind of nice that you can just watch it at home. So next up, we have some big franchises that are coming up with sequels, starting with Alien Romulus later this month. What do you think about that?
I mean, I love the Alien franchise. I've always been a sucker for these ones. You know, Sigourney Weaver is a great heroine, just like incredible.
It's just a bug hunt.
Right? This is a horror film, so they are taking those sci-fi horror elements and going truly darker, which, you know, horror... this might be a hot take, but I think some of the most creative and innovative things in film is happening right now in horror. So to be able to take that franchise and twist it a little bit and make, you know, give people the things that they're looking for, a little scarier, a little darker, let's go. I think it'll be super fun.
You know the gore can be gorier than ever now.
Let's go.
Right? Beetlejuice is next month, and that was shot here in Massachusetts.
Yeah, Melrose.
The original was as well, right?
Parts of it. No, I think very little, like almost nothing.
What are you hearing
much
about
more
that?
Here. Well, you know, this movie has been in talks forever. You know, the Beetlejuice came out and they were immediately talking a sequel, and it has been a few years since that one
a few decades.
Yeah, there it is. Tim Burton, you know, this is a passion project for him when he is actively involved and he's bringing back the stars. You know, Michael Keaton as Beetlejuice is a legendary role.
That's huge.
Those trailers look fun. They look weird, which is what you're looking for. You don't want this to be kind of a cookie cutter, edges sand-off movie. You want this one to be like, what am I watching? This is weird, and it looks that way. So I am fingers crossed on that one.
Tim Burton is always going to push the envelope.
You hope so.
And again, it's like the technology has met him where his mind lives, right? Finally, looking even further ahead, another big hit on the horizon this year to match Deadpool and Wolverine and Inside Out 2. What do you think it would be?
Well, you've got a day coming up where you have two big releases the same day, and that is Gladiator 2 and Wicked. Both sort of IP property. Wicked, obviously the legendary Broadway show, and Gladiator 2, another sequel that has been long in development. Same day release. So they're talking about a Barbenheimer kind of thing going on where you could do, you know, the very intense action and the very cute, like, colorful movie. I don't know. I don't know. I guarantee it won't be those numbers. However, still a fun day out. I would watch the two of those together.
We could call it Gladiated.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
There it is, right there.
If we're going to connect the words.
But yeah,
what
that's
day
a big
is that, by the way?
That is November 22nd.
Right
Don't
around
quote me on that.
Thanksgiving.
It's right towards the end of November.
But right. And with Wicked, it's the first half of the musical.
Yeah, it's only one for
only one
half. That into two.
Second half comes out in 2025.
Yep.
Well, Alex Shebar, thanks so much.
No
this is
worries.
really
Thank you
fun.
for having me.
From the Alamo Drafthouse in Boston, and let's hope more people go back to the theater.
I think they will.
All right. Thanks so much.
An unusual seafood dish that you don't want to miss. Coming up on the ReMix, an acclaimed chef of one of the most popular restaurant chains around gives us tips on making a golden tilefish chop. An acclaimed chef heads up one of the best franchise restaurants around, and WBZ's Jason Michael had a chance to see how Chef Eric LeBlanc from Burton's Grill and Bar makes all the kitchen magic happen.
Get hungry and get excited, everybody. He is the culinary director of Massachusetts-based restaurant group with more than 20 locations along the eastern seaboard. Joining us now is my good friend, Chef Eric LeBlanc from Burton's Grill and Bar. How are you?
Excellent. Thank you for having me.
Great to have you here, my friend here. So let's start out talking, Chef, about a trip that you made down to Louisiana. You were there for the Great American Seafood Cook-Off. Tell us about your experience. What was that like, being surrounded by other acclaimed chefs like yourself?
Oh, you know, it's a great experience every year to be able to participate in that and see, you know, what some of these chefs are creating on, you know, cutting edge innovation, different techniques that you can pick up, and then the networking and stuff. And then, you know, it's also interesting because being in a certain region, you're only exposed to that seafood. So now I'm getting to see some different things that I've never seen before and what they're doing with it. So it was really, you know, eye-opening experience for me.
As I say, it is a lot of different entities in terms of cuisine down south as opposed to north.
Of course.
But also let's talk about some of the meals that you guys offer at Burton's, especially including the famed lobster roll.
You know, this is a famed lobster roll because the amount of emails we get throughout the year about bringing it back, and you know, it's back. It's summertime, so we have a nice feature of the lobster roll going through the end of the month, and you know, comparably out there where you see market price and then it's a little bit of a sticker shock, this is $29. This is what's been our price. You have all that lump lobster right there. You can have either cold or hot version as well.
Oh, okay. All right. With a side of butter?
Side of butter.
Okay. All right. Sounds good to me. And also some the southern interests like myself coming from the south there. Another southern favorite, chicken and waffles. We got that for you here too.
I love chicken waffles. So we just recently launched brunch at all our locations, all 20 locations, Saturday and Sunday from 10:30 to 3:30. You can enjoy a brunch menu along with a lot of your favorites from the regular menu as well. This one is my favorite on the brunch menu. You have a little bit of a sweet, savory action. You have the chicken tenders. You have these two big waffles, honey butter. Oh my God, this is filling. Great way to start the day.
Oh, and end the day too.
Of course.
But aside from the seafood options and the chicken options, for those that may or may not be in the meat game like myself, you also have some gluten options as well.
Of course, you know, it's. I think it's really important that people feel safe when they go out to dinner, and you know, we cater to the people with the allergens very well. We have procedures and processes in place to make sure that people are safe, but also, you know, we want to make sure that they're getting a delicious meal as well, because you know, throughout time, gluten-free products have gotten better throughout the year. So it's my job to make sure that we're sourcing the greatest product out there to be gluten-free, so that everyone, whether you do or do not have the allergy, can enjoy the best food as well at our restaurants.
Oh. And maybe you can prepare something for us. Maybe if there's some ideas.
Of course, yeah. No, I want to do a little bit of the seafood dish here. So, coming into this season, we have a great array of ingredients. We have the corn, we have tomatoes, we have peaches. So,
Very fresh tomatoes.
Oh, man. I love the colors, too, of the heirloom tomato. So one thing I really like to do as a chef is to, manipulate things in the cut process. You can cut things as a wedge. You can cut things as a circle. You can kind of cut things as a coin option, and it gives the eye a different look at food. And then you have these beautiful peaches that I kind of grilled and pickled. So I wanted to grill them beforehand. That way they could still hold texture. And then I made a little melon ball peaches as well to kind of mimic the tomato, so that when you're like, oh, is that a tomato? No, it's a peach. So that's a little interesting. So
little illusion that causes a bit of confusion.
Oh, yeah, of course. But that's a good confusion right there. And then we add some of this nice roasted corn. And then, you know what I gotta have? I gotta have bacon. So for me, I make this little bit of bacon jam. And you got a little bit of sweetness. You got a little bit of heat from jalapeno in there. So all that's working really well. So on top of that, we have this beautiful little fish I made a chop out of. So nice little technique of there to really display that bone. And you're like, that's a fish? And then it kind of looks like that steak action.
Be careful with the bone.
Yeah, that way. And I want to see a clean bone afterwards. And then afterwards, we have a little bit of chimichurri. So you have a little bit of that herbaceousness of the parsley and a little bit more flavor there. And then, like I said, corn is that time of year. So I like to make a little corn sauce for the center.
Eric, you're killing me.
And then, we got to add a little bit of chive oil on this. So for me, that is summer on a plate.
Look at that, friends. Look at that. Pure artistry here right on the plate. Chef Eric LeBlanc, the culinary director of Burton's Grill and Bar. Chef, thank you so much.
Thank you.
It looks delicious. Well, he's a huge Hollywood star. Talking to CBS News Boston. Still ahead on the remix, Gary Oldman on his first television role in Slow Horses and why the character was so important for him to play. It's the first television role for a massive movie star, but actor Gary Oldman says he's really enjoying his role on the show Slow Horses. The Apple Plus series is a British spy thriller. Oldman plays Jack Lamb, the head of a team of intelligence agents who have all committed career-ending mistakes. Oldman told WBZ there was a lot to like about this role.
Something where I didn't wear a wig. I didn't have prosthetic makeup. I didn't have too many costume changes.
Right.
It would preferably in the world of espionage, and this series came in. I mean, my character, in as much, is sort of set. The die is sort of set with Jackson Lamb, and as you know, he's a acerbic, lugubrious old fellow, with his holy socks and his dirty Mac, and a lot of the situations around me, the various scenarios as we go through the seasons, sets up its own kind of challenges and its own hurdles that we sort of, me and my crazy misfit of spies.
Slow Horses' fourth season is set to premiere early next month, giving young actors a spot to thrive. More to come on the remix, the Massachusetts camp, allowing teens a place to be themselves and learn about who they can become.
I've never had someone that knows me like you do, the way you do.
Talented kids spending their summer hard at work creating 4 different musicals. The Young Company at the Greater Boston Stage in Stoneham is one of the longest running year-round theater education programs in the area. The summer festival gives young theater lovers the chance to take the main stage. And as Lisa Hughes shows us, to step into the spotlight.
It's a really cool environment where kids get to be who they want to be and learn about themselves in a very safe way.
The motto for Young Company is good theater makes good people, which is so true.
Patch Bentley has been coming to camp for 4 years now.
It's just always been a constant in my life. It almost feels like a second home.
Her performance in Once Upon a Mattress will be her last with the young company as she prepares to head to Ithaca College. As for 13-year-old Belle Massini,
which is precisely what I'm trying to do. How to make them scream at the top of their lungs. Philistine! Halloween!
she can't wait to return after her first summer.
It's a really fun experience. I'm getting to make all these new friends and meeting all these new people, and it's so sad that I didn't do it last year.
Over the past 2 decades, the Young Company has trained hundreds of kids, grades 1 through 12. They learn the arts and get the chance to perform in a professional setting.
All of our teaching artists work in the industry, so not only are the kids learning from professionals, they're also learning from people who want to be educators.
We all remember how much we loved theater growing up, and we're excited to pass that on to the next generation.
You can show who you really are, like with dancing, singing, acting.
The students, broken up by grade into 3 groups or acts, are working on 4 different productions. 11-year-old Sammy Young is in Act 1.
I was just a no one, only yesterday.
He's now working on his 4th production at camp, and he's thrilled to have a lead role this year.
I will do it until I can't do it anymore.
From costume design to choreography, the students learn it all, and the lessons are deeper than what you see on stage.
I think theater teaches you many transferable skills, like in life: collaboration, active listening, positivity, the show must go on kind of attitude.
It also just continues to grow imagination, creativity, and just a willingness to make mistakes, which is super important as a developing student goes through life.
Everyone should do theater at least at some point in their lives, even if they don't think they'll like it, because it really teaches you so much about what hard work goes into making art, and you just get to collaborate on a piece of work that you will end up being so proud of, and it's just so worth it.
They are so talented, and you can see what the students have been working on for yourselves. The Young Company's performances are at the Greater Boston Stage in Stoneham all weekend. Thank you so much for joining us here on The ReMix. We'll be back next week with more community, entertainment, and lifestyle stories.